I've been trying to up the production value of all my videos and have had a nagging question the entire time. Is my equipment actually holding me back? Is my gear actually holding me back? Specifically my lenses. I think I have the answer to that. So let's get into it. So I've got camera bodies. I don't feel like I need to upgrade my camera bodies as of right now. I don't feel like I've outgrown them, if you ask me. I have my Lumix S5II Mark II, and I have my Lumix S9. My S9 pretty much either is my travel camera, or I put it on a gimbal, or I use this as my primary camera, the S5 that you see that I'm filming this right now. What I will say is that my lens collection is kind of like a budget hodgepodge that's kind of like put together. I have some vintage FD lenses. I have anamorphic, Blazar lens that I use. I have a Mikey Prime lens that I got for, pretty inexpensive. All my FD lenses probably cost me like $50 a piece at best. This was probably the most expensive lens I've owned. This Blazar or whatever. But I keep wondering, what am I doing wrong? Can I up the production value just by upgrading some of my lenses? Is there a real true, is there a real, what would you say? Is there truth to the myth that pro lenses actually make a difference? In comes my Lumix Pro S 24, let's see here, 24-270, big boy lens right here. That is a big heavy lens, and I decided to buy it because I figured hey, if I want to up my production value, maybe I should start looking into, possibly getting into more professional gear. Some will argue that the Lumix S5 is really not a professional camera. And I don't agree or disagree, I guess, as long as it gets the job done and there's but for right now, it's been totally fine. And I think that when I'm ready, I will upgrade probably to a Pixis 12K as my primary, and then have this as my secondary, and just kind of have my Lumix X as, my S9, just to kind of like a throwaway. Anyway, so I picked up this lens right before I took a trip to Scotland, thinking that there was any time for me to whip out this lens. I think that would be the time, and I could figure out what all the fuss is about. The build quality, I mean, it's heavy. It's a tank. It's super heavy. The focus ring clicks, which is freaking awesome because I do a lot of manual focusing. At least, not to say that there's anything wrong with the autofocus in this thing, but it is actually very, very good. It's accurate. It's fast. The autofocus is super fast on it, and it's plenty wide, obviously at 24-70, which I think at this point is kind of like an industry standard. Everybody has a 24-70. I did look at the Sigma 24-70, but I don't know, man. It's a third-party lens, and I just, wanted to get the full experience of a pro lens to see if it actually makes a difference. The short answer of it is that this lens is actually, it feels special. I kind of get why it gets overlooked because it's so expensive in comparison to the Sigma 24-70. I think the price difference is about $600 or $700 sometimes. Sometimes you can find it for even more of a price difference. I don't know how much slightly better it is, but I wasn't going to get spend that kind of money on the lens and not get the best I could get. A few things that I noticed about it is that the roll off is really nice. The f2.8, I think it works perfect. I think that it gives you plenty of bokeh, and it gives you, plenty of depth of field, with it, whether you're at 70mm or even 24mm. 24mm is wide enough, pretty much for anything that I'm doing. And, I think that if you compare it to my 28-200, which I have, and my wife actually predominantly used that lens, there is a big difference. I mean, I'm going through the footage, and I'm going through the edit of my Scotland video, and I could pretty much tell the difference between both lenses, just off the bat, not because of anything other than just the way it looks. it does look amazing in comparison to that 28-200. Maybe it's the f4 of the 28-200, but I spent a lot of money in this lens. I wasn't expecting to see that much of a difference, because I've always been like, oh, gear doesn't matter. Like, probably one of the last things you worry about is, buy some lenses or whatever. But you should definitely look into, buying expensive glass. And if I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, I could start all over again, I would have probably started with this lens right here and just not bought of anything else. Like, I would have bought this and probably down the line paired it with the 70-200 that they have. And this thing would probably live on it's probably gonna live on my A camera right now for until I feel like there's something better out there. And if I get a different camera, like a Pixis, I'll make sure it's L mount, and I'll make sure that lives on the camera. I really do think there's something special about it. And I kind of feel like foolish saying this, but I feel like, like all the rest of this stuff that I bought is kind of a waste of money. I hate to say it. The 28-200, I don't think it's a waste of money, because is actually, the focal range is good. It's super light. It's easy to travel with. It pairs good with my S9, but that's about where it's going to live. It's always going to be on that camera. I'm never going to put it back on this thing. And I think it's, a versatile lens, and it's $800, and I think it's totally worth it. But if you're looking to do like professional work, and you really want to step up your game, and you want to start really looking into like raising your production value, I think that spending money in the tools you use, I don't think is a bad thing. I'm not just saying it because I own it. I'm saying it because I could tell a difference. Just the way it feels in your hand, the way it makes my whole camera rig feel, the way it looks when I'm editing and I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh man, these are the results that I've been looking for. It's easy to say like, oh, maybe it's just your skill level that's, getting better or whatever. But I really do feel like if you're going to be a videographer, if you're going to get paid to do this, I think that it's important for you to kind of like really invest in the tools you use, and don't be foolish and spend money on crappy, things. Like, I would probably, this 35mm would be gone, $200 out the window. I don't use it. I used it for 2 months to test it out, and it's okay. I would say it's okay, but if this was $200 and maybe $220, that would have been $200 more towards this, because I'm getting better results from this zoom lens than I am from this prime. As far as the Blazar lens, I think the Blazar lens is fine. I think this is just a different look that you're looking for, and I think that when I use it, it does give me a different look. And for some reason, when I use this, the colors look different. So I don't know if it's the the glass or whatever, but I feel like the colors look a little bit different. They look a little bit more green or more blue or something. I don't know. I every time I use it, I'm like warming up the temperature on them, because I think they go towards like the bluish side. So yeah, I mean, that's my take on this. I hope you enjoyed the video. If yeah, like I said, if you're looking for a lens that's nice, that's if you're looking to invest in your future as a videographer, and you're looking for an L mount lens that is going to cover that focal range from really wide to pretty narrow, I would definitely look into this thing. It's totally worth it. I am ecstatic with the results. I hope that this message gets to somebody and you made it this far. If you do, feel free to subscribe. I'd love to hear from you in the comments, and catch you in the next one. Peace.